Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey guys, today we're here to review issue number 13 of Darth Vader.
Yes, a new arc has begun. Burning Seas Part 1.
Yeah, it has, and I didn't know that until I read the crawl.
Gotta read the opening crawl.
I never read the opening crawl.
You must.
All right, guys, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, where are we?
We are 3 years from the initial takeover of the Empire.
Yep. It has been 3 years.
You're testing me.
Yeah. It has been 3 years since the takeover. And this opening scene was amazing because it comes from the mind of Darth Vader, of course, as he is kind of meditating. But
yeah,
it's a different side of it.
Yeah,
so.
It opens up with the battle between Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the pits of Mustafar.
Yeah. And they pulled the lines straight from
the
movie. Straight from the movie Revenge of the Sith, which I didn't like those lines
it's
to begin
over,
with.
Anakin!
Right. You were the chosen one! But this time, yeah, you don't see Anakin Skywalker.
No, you do not. You see Darth Vader.
Yes. It's a different twist on this where he wins.
Yeah, it's not only just Darth Vader, but yeah, he is literally using the Force and taking Obi-Wan and throwing Obi-Wan into the position that he was in. On the ground where the lava was flowing, but they kept the same lines as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So here's Obi-Wan, who in the movie was saying, or in what really happened, was saying, you were supposed to bring light to the world, not darkness. But while he's standing on the high ground, no, he's melting away on the low ground,
which is amazing because even they show Vader say his kind of line, you shouldn't test my power. But it's in that scene where Anakin jumps over, and actually that's where he gets sliced in half. No, it doesn't happen that way. He jumps over, and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi burning alive.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really great because it actually shows that even though he is Darth Vader now, he still has Anakin left in him because Anakin was that way. He always wanted to prove everybody better. He always wanted to say, I'm always going to win. I'm always going to do this. So having this scene as his vision now, that, yes, I win now, or I would have won then, doesn't matter because I am the Dark Lord.
It's more like a fantasy to him, though, because it does cut to real time, present day, I should say. And we get a very brief look at, the skin underneath the mask of Lord Vader.
They never show the full face, which is, you'd always want to see it, but he's just burnt to a crisp. But so he's being called by his master. His master has him come in. It'd
be funny if Deadpool popped out of there.
That'd be sweet. How's it going, guys? So Palpatine, Emperor, has him come in. He has a new mission for him. He's just explaining, look, we need to expand the Empire. It's new. We're in a couple years in. But we need to expand. Yeah,
it's more. He calls it more than just political abstraction. That it's time to expand the empire. Everybody knows that I rule the Empire, but now it's time to really show them that we're a force to be reckoned with.
His true voice, or actually, it says the only true voice that's out there is mine.
Yeah,
of course, it's Emperor Palpatine. Who cares, right? But. There is a place that he wants to go to, that he wants Vader to go to, which is the Mon Cala, which is the planet that has the species, the Mon Calamari, which most of you are kind of like the fish kind of creatures, if you remember, like Admiral Akbar, that kind of species. And so his that's kind of where he wants to start, because there's already a... not really interrogation, but negotiations going on by...
Trade negotiations.
Yeah, trade negotiations going on, but the Emperor feels like the talks are very similar, and they feel that the Mon Cala have another kind of an advisor there. And Vader questions, he says, is this a Jedi? And Palpatine says, I don't know, but I want you to look at it.
Yep.
But we do get a mention of the Death Star.
We do, yes. And we get a mention of Krennic.
Yep.
Darth Vader asks, "Is the weapon ready?"
Mm-hmm.
And Senator Palpatine, Sidious, says back to him, "No, Krennic and his scientists are still working on it.
It's not quite
but they say the
operational
weapon
yet."
is not operational."
Yeah, which is cool. So
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see the Death Star, of course. I mean, we don't know the stages of where it's at. I'm sure they're just beginning to build it, or maybe they've constructed the majority of it and they're just waiting for the main primary weapon.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't see that yet.
But yeah, so instead of
pretty sweet.
using the main weapon or the Death Star, they decide to, bring a Star Destroyer.
Yeah. Star Destroyers.
And their fleet, their military.
Yeah. Palpatine says we have other means of weapons. We have Star Destroyers. We have the new, the new fighters, new TIE fighters, and basically him.
Yeah.
And his team.
And Vader basically says, "Look, I'm not equipped to, I'm not equipped to be a general in a military army." And Palpatine says, "No, I have someone else that can do that for me."
Yeah. So we get to his main general, which is General Tarkin, and this part I kind of could have went without. There were some really good aspects of it. It's just Tarkin with his generals. They are
logistics.
Yeah, the Star Destroyer is parked outside Mon Cala.
Parked.
And well, in orbit around Mon Cala, basically. And he's talking with his other, officials, and they're kind of questioning, we should just go in there and just attack them now.
Yeah.
And when Tarkin was speaking, it reminded me of The Walking Dead, how Negan's like, people are a resource. It's kind of what he was saying. He's like, look, we will not attack them unless we necessarily have to. The planet has good resources, and their people are good fighters. They can help us out.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna just go in there and kill them. I mean, come on. We have to strategize this a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, and he's also got orders from the senator that
from the emperor.
From the emperor, sorry, you do it my way.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's not going to disobey those orders.
No, Tarkin's pretty obedient. Him and the emperor always see kind of eye to eye in their plan. So we do kind of cut to down in Mon Cala, and the negotiator is talking with the king of the Mon Calamari.
I'm glad you're talking about it, because I have no clue.
It messed me up. The Mon Calamari. He's basically just asking them, do you want to be part of this great empire?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of the Empire's way of seeing what side are you on.
Yeah, so the Empire knows that they could simply just go in there and take over. And the king is kind of pissed off because he's like, look, you're taking our resources and charging a fifth of what they're really worth on the real market. And you're basically screwing us over.
Yeah.
And they end up not making any type of trade negotiations while the representative from the Empire is there talking to the king. And he leaves and basically says, look, we'll save this for further negotiations.
Well, even like I think one of the king's side, kind of advisors kind of said, yeah, well, it doesn't make us feel good when you got a Star Destroyer parked out there. I think he even mentions that. It's like, come on, I think we're done talking today. Yeah. So we do get back with Tarkin, and they are notifying that, hey, the ambassador kind of let us know that the talks didn't go well, but he's planning on, coming back the next day to speak about it. Yeah. Tarkin does ask if they were successful. He's like, no, they could have been better, basically. And this is where they get notified that another ship is coming in, and Tarkin asks, who is it? They kind of go by their kind of transponder code, and he gives them the code, and Tarkin knows exactly who that ship is.
Oh, it was Vader's, right?
It's Vader's ship. Yeah. He's like, oh, just let them through. And I think one of his people were like, you know that ship? He's like, I do, Lieutenant. It represents an entirely different form of diplomacy. He doesn't go into detail, but we know what kind of diplomacy this is. So
yeah. I love that part.
So yeah, the king is talking with his advisor. They're kind of going over the day almost, and they're like, yeah, things could have went better.
Yep.
But
this is when the Vader ship arrives.
Yes.
Now it arrives on obviously a kind of like a pre-shipment platform. You have to go through certain procedures to, move from that platform. It's kind of like a receiving area.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they do land, and we get the inquisitors that come out, and
the sixth brother,
the ninth sister. They're kind of poking jabs at each other, like, "Oh, this place stinks," or "What is this?
Smells
place?"
like fish.
Yeah, it smells like fish because they're the species is kind of like squid-like. And so we get introduced to an old character. We get Commander Akbar, who will eventually become Admiral Akbar. He is kind of saying, "Hey, what are you doing here?" The ninth sister does have an imperial writ, which basically has the emperor's seal on it.
And it basically says any interference with this particular squad is basically treason, or
will be met with swift justice.
Right? So they are not to interfere with them at all. They are to let them go by and do their business, construct their business as usual. And
that's it.
Commander Akbar doesn't really take that order right away.
No.
At all, actually.
He's like talking to the ninth sister, like, of course, looking up at him because the ninth sister's so tall. He's like, "You're inquisitors, huh? Well, that's kind of
the meaning of this.
What is that?" And ninth sister's like, "Well, if you don't like it, talk to the boss."
Yeah.
And we see Vader, the smoke, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and so the Commander Akbar actually says, "Look, you're not leaving this platform until I understand why you are here."
Exactly. What are you doing here? Why are you here? And
the ninth sister's like, "Did you not just read that order?"
Right. Yeah. Well, Vader says that too. He's like,
"Did
you not read it?" And even like. Vader says, "Well, let us," and he's like, "Well, let me tell you what we're doing here. We are here because there is basically an enemy of the Empire on this planet." And Akbar, he's like, "There's nobody here. We're peaceful. We're here with negotiations." We do see a shot of the ambassador getting onto his ship.
Yep.
And then we see the ship flying away, and then Darth Vader, we see it explode, and Vader says, "You are mistaken." And so I don't know how if
I think Vader did it.
Put the bomb on there before they even left. I don't know how it happened, but he basically just killed his own man for a purpose.
Yeah.
He did this for a reason.
What's the...
Tarkin?
Tarkin immediately. Like, they see this and almost like a switch goes on Tarkin, and he's ordering the full invasion of the planet.
Yes. So Vader...
Which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, those two panels, I'm like, oh shit, this dude's going off.
Yeah. Vader is there for a purpose, but I'm sure it was another side order from the Emperor to, they're not going to attack the planet unless they are provoked. So
stir up things.
Killing their men will provoke Tarkin to send the fleet, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So, the end of this comic will have a lot of speculation. Very interesting, though.
Yeah. We assume it's the king, right? Talking to this individual in what appears to be an underwater cave.
I think it's probably the king. Yeah. Or maybe the king's...
King's aide.
The king's aide, yeah.
And basically what the king's aide is telling this individual is... another ship showed up. They are invading us. Mm-hmm. But there was another ship with the Inquisitors, I think he mentioned, and a tall, dark, masked, armored individual.
All in black. The hooded person does say, Inquisitors I can deal with. That's not a big deal. And as they go on explaining who the other gentleman is, the hooded person says, I know his name. And he just says...
Anakin.
No.
He
just says Skywalker.
Skywalker, yes.
He just says Skywalker. So, who do you think it is?
Obi-Wan.
That was the first initial thought when I saw that panel.
Why put Obi-Wan in the beginning of the comic?
Well, I mean...
Other than the fact that it was cool just seeing that.
It was. I mean, that was his vision, but I don't know if this is him. If it is, I'm going to freak out next issue. But I just think it's probably... Because of the events of what happened, Obi-Wan is actually off-planet. He is actually looking after Luke. He looks after Luke pretty much his whole life since he's been born. Now, there were side missions, and there's other comics where he's kind of doing side stuff, but it's all on Tatooine. So I think this is just another Jedi that's out there that knows. I don't know how we would know it's Skywalker, but... someone close to Skywalker previously in the past that still remains.
You got to think that maybe word has gotten out by now. It's been 3 years.
But they're still killing. Nobody really knows that Darth Vader is Skywalker unless they can feel it in the Force, or unless maybe this person, unless some of the Jedi got together with Yoda, Obi-Wan before they left and told them truly who he is. But I really don't think that. I think they kept that secret to just themselves. I don't think other Jedi out there, the remaining ones, know, but he knows his name, so I am so intrigued to find out who this is.
It was very exciting, guys. Let us know what you think of who the hooded individual is.
Yes, it is, a brown hood, which is very, it's Obi-Wan's kind of
iconic.
Very iconic. There we go. So let us know, guys. I cannot wait till the next issue to find out what this is. If you have not picked up this series by Charles Soule, pick this up. It is amazing. You will love it if you love Star Wars and Vader.
Yep.
So do it.
Yep.
The Emperor commands it.
Guys, thumb up the video. Let us know what you thought of the issue. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Twitter.
Feel free to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more Star Wars. We are NocBro Nation.
We're out.